What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be doing an installation of a diesel heater on our Kawasaki KRX 1000. However, this installation video is applicable to all side-by-sides, all UTVs. You could definitely do this with a truck or even a boat as well, but we're going to be putting this heater in to get a little bit more heat in our cab and make it a little more comfortable for our winter trips. So we are going to have a quick introduction right now, you guys, but stay tuned with us. We're going to go through how we installed this heater, how we made it fit in our bed, as well as what the heat output is like and if it's going to warm up our Kawasaki KRX 1000 during our snow adventures. We'll be right back after this quick introduction. Don't go anywhere, you guys, and we will go through this installation tip to tail after this short, quick intro. About 65 kilometers up the trail. Almost at my turnaround point here, but I'm really hoping we can make it up to this lodge. So I'm gonna keep pushing for just a little bit. We're gonna try and bring it back onto the trail and back out of here. We sunk Toyota in its natural habitat. Do you have the winch for that? Or the winch? Oh! Oh, woo! Nice job. There's your new profile picture, boys. At this time, we'd like to give a special shout out to our sponsors for making this YouTube channel and all of our adventures possible. All right, you guys, welcome back. So today, again, as we said, we're going to be putting a diesel heater inside our KRX side-by-side. So the model that we went, I'll grab it right here for you. This is what we were going to be putting in. So it is a Vevor diesel 8 kilowatt heater. Runs on diesel. It's a very, very simple unit. I have pulled it apart just prior to starting the recording here and took a quick look. It's very, very simple. It's quite literally a diesel heater. It's got a fuel pump on it. It's got a very simple relay. It does have an inline 20 amp fuse, which is super helpful whenever we're going to be hooking up to a 12 volt source, as well as it just has your basic controller on there. So you can go low, medium, high temperature, change the fan output. I do believe you can also do a set point as well. So if you want to set it in your garage and forget it, or run it in your, if you were to wire that controller inside the cab of your side-by-side, you could set a specific temperature and it's going to heat up to that and then keep it there. So really like this system. Now the reason we're putting this in obviously is we want more heat during our off-road adventures in the wintertime. Here in Alberta, Canada, it does get quite cold. We've had as cold as -40 last week, so it does get cold. We did do an enclosure last year. We put front and rear front and rear poly on there, as well as the side doors. It does help quite a bit. However, I think I have a similar wife to the rest of y'all when I say that she would appreciate a little bit more heat in there, and I would too on those cold days. So having the windshield is half the battle, getting that wind off your face. The other half is having a heating system. So in terms of options, now the reason we went with the Vevor diesel heater, a couple of reasons. A couple of installations I have seen online with people using this diesel heater with some success, so I wanted to give that a try for myself. Second really big reason is that whenever you do go to a factory KRX system, so something straight from Kawasaki, or I believe UTV Canada also has a kit. I think it's from Super ATV, but they have an actual dedicated kit that goes with the KRX, has the vents in the dash. It's a very clean installation, comes with a nice switch. You can change the heat output. It's very nice. However, very expensive. So you're looking at $800-900 in Canada to get that put in. And that's actually, I shouldn't even say to get put in. That's $800 or $900 just for the unit itself. And then you need to do the installation. So if you're getting someone to put that in for you, another few $100, or if you're doing it yourself, it's going to be a few hours of your time. So This is my cheap version of how we can get heat in there that's efficient and not going to break the bank. So this unit, the Vevor heater, I got it on sale on Black Friday. It was $120 off of Amazon. I also did pick up an additional hose kit. That was an additional $30, and that just extends the outlet hose where the heat comes out. So it splits into two, more of a like a Y shape, and then we can run two vents. So we'll have one on either side of my cab. But yeah, so that's the heater. That's what we're going to be using it for our purposes. And this will be a two-part video. Today will be the installation. We'll get everything ringed up and test it. Day two will be a dedicated off-road test where we're going to try the heat out. I'll bring a temperature probe out with me, and we'll see how much that diesel heater really kicks out in an outside environment riding for the day. So stay tuned for that. But anyways, you guys, let's get to it. Let's install this heater and let's see what we can make happen. Couple quick specifications on this. So it's a diesel heater. It has a 5-liter gas tank attached to the top of it, so we should be able to run it all day without any fuel. Mounting system, very simple. There's 4 sides. They all get screwed in, so we have a secure mounting system built into it. It does come with a Bluetooth controller, so you can control it from inside your house or inside your camper or whatever if you want to just heat your machine up without actually starting it. We're going to test that today and see how well it works. I don't know if that's always going to work with the machine off or if it's going to kill your battery, but we'll take a look at that. It's a 12-volt source, so you just hook it right up to your battery, simple that way. It does have that inline 20-amp fuse, which is really nice. I did purchase an external fuse because I thought I was going to have to run one for this installation video. Turns out we aren't going to have to worry about that, so that's good news. Already has that built in. What else can I say? 8 kilowatts of heat. I'm sure that's overrated, as most products from China are. I think that's pretty much all I can tell you guys, but yeah, it should be good. Hopefully this thing kicks out some heat. So let's take a look. I'm going to mock it up in the bed right now, and we'll go over how I want to install this. All right, you guys, so this is a rough layout of what I'm thinking for installing the heater. You guys can see over here, this is our heating unit. It's going to be bolted down in all 4 corners, 1, 2, and then 3, 4 in the front here. That's going to hold the heater inside our cab. And if you look under here, I'll just show you underneath the bed real quick, but on the KRXs, you have your bed exposed here. I know it's a little dirty, but you can see where this is all going to come out. So if I just move my light a little bit. So these holes are going to come out here, and then on this side right here at the front, which is good. The other thing that we are going to do is the exhaust comes out the bottom of this heater right on the bottom here. So we're going to drill a hole right here for this exhaust to come through, and then I'll probably have it venting off going this direction of some sort, just so that we're kicking that heat out and not at anything important like our clutch casing or our air intake or anything like that. I'll just show you real quick, but basically right here is where the exhaust comes out and down, and it is just a little metal hose. So we're going to make a cut in our bed that's not going to wreck anything structurally, but if we do take this out in the summer, what we'll do is unscrew all 4 corners, pull this out, and we'll just put a plug in there, and it'll be very, very simple and safe. It's not going to affect the structural integrity of the machine in any way, shape, or form. It's just going to be drilled into plastic. I've got some very, very big 1-inch washers that we're going to use just to add a little bit of stability to the screw down. And then that should be it. You guys can see here, so this is your outlet on the front. This is going to be your main hose that comes with the heater, and then this is that hose kit I mentioned earlier. So we've got this Y splitter on there. We're going to run one to this side and then one to the driver's side as well. You guys can see it just comes in and it's in this little cutout in the side. Now, if you guys are going to be installing this with a windshield in the back and you don't have this little cutout, what I would recommend is just go ahead and get yourselves a 3-inch or a 3.5-inch circular cutout. And just drill into your windshield right here. Make 2 holes or even just 1 hole. You can run this piping directly in, cut a hole here, and then put it in. And then that's gonna blow heat right at you from the front. So a couple different ways you can do this. Obviously, depending on your windscreen setup, that's gonna make a difference as to how you install this. But for us, because I didn't close in these sides, we've got a nice little triangle there that my 3-inch hose fits through directly at the passenger from here. I'll probably have it so it's going down and going into the cab, and you can see the outlet hose right there on the other side. I'll be blowing down straight as well, and that'll fill this whole cab hopefully with enough heat. Now over time, if we find that, hey, this isn't working out exactly how we need it, what I could do as well is order another length of hose, run the hose up, attach to the roof, and go directly onto our windshield. So I may still do that at a later date, but for right now, we're just gonna run it so that it's heating the passenger and the driver, me, And then, yeah, should be good. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna drill a few holes here, guys, get this started. And we'll get this thing bolted in, fabbed up, tighten all the clamps up. And then, yeah, we'll turn it on, see what happens. All right, you guys, so we got the heater installed. Everything's wired up, looks good. So we'll give you kind of an overview of what we've done here. Yeah, we've got the heater ran here. You guys can see I've got the 2 base bolts in there on the sides. They have, I did have to bend that plate up a little bit just to get the angle on the bolts properly. And they are countersunk to the back right in here. You guys can see I used a couple different washers on there, so we've got some good structural support. And then on the other side here, I just drilled 2 holes and went in from the bottom here. So those guys are all done up. Lots of support in there. So there's 2 bolts holding this thing on, sorry, stabilize my light here. So there's 2 bolts holding these on the front here, and then on the back side, same thing. I've got 2 bolts in here. Just move my light for you guys there. But 2 bolts in the back as well. Very, very solid. That's not going anywhere whatsoever. Now, I haven't filled it with fuel yet. I just need to stop by the store and grab some diesel, and then we're gonna do a startup test. But that is how that is run. This is my intake here. You guys can see the intake I've just got zip tied up to the side here. Is there a way to do a more permanent mount? Absolutely, but at the particular moment, we don't have it done yet. And then the exhaust, tough to see, but I'll try and get you guys an angle here. If you guys can see in the bottom, that's your exhaust coming out the exact bottom. I have that wrapped with the heater blanket, which came with the Vevor heater. But you can see the way I've routed the exhaust, so it just comes out the bottom here. And I've got it set up, again, I'll cut this little zip tie off, but you can see that heater hose comes through the bottom, out, and then I just used a little hose clamp to hold this guy here zip tied as well. Now this is clamped on the bottom, but I just wanted to give it a little bit more support for when we're going over bouncing, hitting bumps and stuff. So that exhaust is just going to shoot right out here, which I don't think should interfere with anything. Obviously, we still need access to get into our clutch if need be, so that's kind of why I'm thinking we'll make sure that this is still accessible this way. When you pull this clutch cover off, it always goes through the front, so we don't really have to worry there. But yeah, that's your exhaust. I'll clip these off. Hopefully that won't get too warm. We'll know right away. But I'll do a 20-minute test outside. I just need to run and grab some diesel fuel, and then we can get that set up for you guys. And then as far as how I've got the hoses routed, like I said, I had that Y splitter. So I ran, this is where your heat comes out of. So it's a splitter right here. Then I've got it split 2 different directions going into either side of my cab. You can see it just pokes right into the side here. And on the inside, basically that's where your heat is going to come out. So you do have a heater that you can change the direction of it here. So it's not like the cream of the crop in terms of like the direction, but I think that's going to throw more than enough heat to keep us toasty in here. And then you can see my other vent out the side here. And then the last thing I'll show you guys is just how I ran the wiring. Wiring super simple. It's just positive and negative. So the wiring comes, where are we? Right out the front here. I've got it ran alongside through inside the cowl here. Comes in down the side, just in here. And then it joins up with my speaker wiring, which I've just got. So it comes in here. It's not the cleanest installation, but it comes down and connects with my wire for my soundbar. Goes all the way down and then right in here to the battery. So that I don't know yet is if there's going to be a power draw on that. If there is a power draw, not a huge deal. All we'll do is we're going to go to the store, grab a switch, and we'll wire a switch in there so I can disconnect it whenever we're not using it. But that at the moment is how we've got the power ran. Install looks super good. I'm just going to run to the store real quick, grab some diesel fuel, and then we'll fire this bad boy up and see how it runs. All right, you guys, so we got a little bit of diesel fuel, filled up the heater fully, started it. You just use this cute little Bluetooth remote, which is super nice. And you can hear that fuel pump already knocking. You can hear that. Right now it's just pumping fuel, priming that fuel pump. It did say in the directions that we were supposed to manually pump the fuel in. I haven't done that, but I can hear that fuel pump knock, knock, knocking. So eventually here I know it's gonna pull a prime on that diesel fuel. and then it should start up. So I'll give it a few minutes here to keep pumping, and then in a minute we should start to see some exhaust coming out of here, and that's how we'll know that it's going. All right, this thing is starting to cook now. You can hear it pulling prime. You can hear it igniting. And we're starting to get some heat out of this thing now. Oh yeah, that exhaust is getting super hot. Whew. You can hear it, and oh yeah, we're starting to get some good heat out of those vents, which is good. Hell yeah, super hot. That thing's really cooking up. It sounds like a freight train when it's running though. Now the one thing that I don't have on here that came with the Vevor heater is this little guy here, which is a muffler. But we aren't running the muffler because when the KRX is running, it is already loud, so I don't really care about the how loud it is. But you guys can hear this thing going. It is loud. And obviously you can see this exhaust is going. This is your air intake, it's taking it. And oh yeah, you can really feel that heat coming out of there. Lots of heat. I'm gonna be keeping a really close eye on where that exhaust is to make sure we're not melting any plastic. So far it just looks like it's this actual heater. Ouch. It doesn't look like we have any issue. Oh, we did burn through my zip tie already. That didn't take long. So we will need to get some new zip ties, but hopefully we aren't gonna burn any plastic here. Whoo, yeah, there's lots and lots and lots of heat coming out of here, like lots. And you guys can see on my onboard meter here, 12.3, like we are not pulling much at all. We are not pulling much at all for current, which is really nice. That's a big benefit because it's just a little battery in these KRXs, or any side-by-side for that matter. So you guys can see down here, I'm just turning it up to full. That's at 6, so that's as hot as it gets. So we'll let that heat up fully just to see what the max heat we can get out of this thing is. Like that is gonna keep us so toasty in here. Man, that is nice. Yeah, I really like that you can change these vent directions, because you know, if it is too hot or too cold, whatever, you can just sort of change these to change the direction of them. So I'm pretty sure I'll leave them just like that. Then that'll be exactly what a guy needs. This piping itself isn't getting too hot, so I'm not worried about this burning on my air intake or my clutch intake here. We'll go ahead and turn this off here. I think we've got as much as we can out of this test anyway. 1, 2, that's off there. This Bluetooth controller is going to be super handy, I can already tell. So that was almost 2 minutes of runtime, and you guys can see how well that worked. Just shutting down now, it's going through its cooldown cycle. You can see here our battery's still holding at 12, no issues, so we'll turn that off. All right, you guys, overall successful test. I think we got what we needed. The heater's now installed, but stay tuned for part 2 of this video. That's going to be trail testing it in the bush, and we'll actually see how warm this keeps us out there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys got something from this, and I hope that this gives you a cheap option like I was looking for to get heat into your side-by-side. Until the next video, you guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe what you thought of the video, and we will see you guys in the next one. Okay, like I said, stay tuned for part 2, and we'll test this thing out in the bush. Until the next time, Country Slicker out of here.